Because at this point, even when I found out I was pregnant, I was just like, oh, okay. But after losing the twins,
right,
I was like, oh no, I gotta have a baby now. Like, what's happening? So
now I know my body can do it.
Yes.
But now I gotta complete this task.
Yes.
That's how it feels. Welcome to Mompreneur Unmuted, breaking molds and building legacies. This is a space where we talk about motherhood, purpose, and all the ways that life stretches us. And today's episode is one of those kind of full circle conversations. Because the woman sitting on the couch with me is somebody I've known for a long time. And what's funny is our friendship started off kind of funny. Back in the day, we both worked at Rock Connections under the Quick and Loan umbrella for those of y'all who don't know. And Lunden was very to herself, quiet, minding her business. And y'all know that ain't never been me. Anyway, we shared a cubby space. Like, she sat overlooking the Riverwalk, and my desk was kind of like right behind hers. So one day, I noticed she had Michael Jackson as her screensaver, and she was blasting Beyonce. And I said, oh no, you're not about to sit over here in silence with that kind of taste. And I literally have not stopped talking to her since. Like, and now here we are years later. That was what, 14 years now?
Oh,
I don't know. I can't even remember. But now here we are sitting on my couch talking about motherhood, healing, business, and life. Mm-hmm. Now, Lunden is originally from Flint, but built her life here in Detroit with her husband and daughter, baby Z. She owns multiple properties in Flint and Detroit and is working through a major fixer-upper and has always moved with a long-term vision. But what makes her story powerful is that her journey into motherhood didn't come easy. And neither did healing. Before the life she has now, Lunden survived domestic abuse, a relationship that impacted her deeply, enough to eventually write a book called Run Sis about the experience. Shameless plug. And I think that takes a different kind of strength to survive it and heal from it, and then tell the truth about it. So, today, again, we're talking about healing, motherhood, loss, timing, and what it looks like to keep building your life, even after life tried to break parts of you. All right, Lunden it all. Before we get into everything, I want you to tell the people about yourself the way you would. Who you are in this season, what life looks like right now, and what's keeping you busy these days.
Okay, who am I? Like you mentioned before, I'm from Flint, Michigan, and I'm one of those people that loves to let people know that. And I moved to Detroit in 2007 to go to Wayne State. So my path is kind of everywhere, I would say, because, you know, I went to undergrad and I thought I was going to be a translator for the government. So I studied Arabic.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Really? Okay. I studied Arabic and Near Eastern Studies because I thought I was going to be like this incognito black girl, like spy almost, because who would think? But then Quick and Loan sucked me in, and you know the money was good. So I was like, I don't really need to use this degree. But that's where I found out that I love real estate. Okay. So I feel like that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And also with me not moving away, that's how I got rekindled with my husband. We never like dated before, but you know, it just happened like that. And What's keeping me busy now? I haven't like told anybody for real, but I'm in the MBA program now. So that's keeping me very busy at Wayne State again. I am a licensed loan officer, so that I manage our rental properties, I'm a landlord, and I process some loans as well. Right now I have a co-op that I'm working, and I have a part-time job as well. And I have a 2-year-old. So I'm
all the things.
Yes, I'm never bored, but my husband does say that I don't know how to relax. So
Same.
he might be right. He might be right. Because I'm like, why do I keep doing stuff? Like I get frustrated with myself sometimes. But I am someone who hasn't had a smooth ride, I will say. Like, it's not like, even though I'm from Flint, I don't come from like an underprivileged scenario necessarily. But life kind of just, can we curse on here?
Sure.
Okay. Life had kicked my ass for a time. For a time. And it's like, you go through cycles and like the Bible says, which I'm no holy roller, but raised in the church, you just know things. So, to everything, there is a season.
Yeah,
so
that part.
The seasons be seasoning sometimes.
Yeah, they do. And that's why I wanted you on the couch today, because your story is so layered.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women are going to see pieces of themselves in your story.
I agree.
Now, before we get deep, y'all already know everybody that sit on the couch got to participate in a segment called Let's Get Petty. So there's nothing deep, just vibes. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to ask you 3 completely random questions.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. Back at Rock Connections. I want you to be honest. Did you think I was doing too much when I kept talking to you?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm surprised. Okay.
Because if I did, I'm very anti.
Yeah.
So if we didn't vibe,
you would have just stopped talking.
Yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't have pretended. Okay, that's good. Good to know, guys. All right. Petty question 2. Okay. Lunden is a concert head, y'all. Concert head. And always seem to find the tickets for the lows. Like, I don't even know how you do it. First of all, I want you to tell the people how you do it.
Okay.
Then I want to know, what's the lowest you've paid for a concert ticket, and whose was it?
Oh, that's going to be hard because I just went to a concert this week.
Yeah.
I guess the lowest is when somebody gifts it to me.
That's true.
But
no, something you paid for.
Something I paid for, like really good seats, or like
it don't matter.
A Shane Park exclusive.
Girl, listen.
So I will say this. Okay, let's go back to how I do it, right?
Yeah.
For one, I'm not afraid to go to a concert alone.
That part.
Sometimes you can't find 2 seats together.
That part. That's true.
I will go it alone because I am the vibe anyway. So I don't need to be with somebody. I like to, but it don't gotta be. So that's one thing you gotta be prepared for. Like, will you sit alone? That because a lot of times you can find a single seat.
Yeah.
I look day of, and I know people always say like, go to the box office, blah blah blah, save on the fees. I don't care about the fees. I will do day of.
Okay.
So, for instance, Chris Brown was here for the Tycoon Festival. I didn't get my tickets till 2 hours before, and I paid like $250 to sit on the floor, and it was like row 17 on an end cap. I was by myself, and you know what I mean? That's good for 2 hours before the show. Another time,
a Chris Brown concert? Yes.
My 3rd Breezy Bowl last year.
Not the 3rd.
In Alabama. That was the closest I would say. So my best friend had bought us some tickets somewhere she knew we did not want to sit. And I was like, yeah, girl, we're not going to sit there. So all day I was just looking at tickets, trying to see what popped up. As we were walking into the stadium, we stopped at the box office and just ask, do you have any seats on the floor? Homegirl had 8th row, 2 tickets. So we bought them. They were, I want to say $600. Now, context, right? Because if people don't go to concerts, they would be like, hell no.
Right.
But those be like $1,500.
Yeah, $2,000 sometimes.
So the box office had the original tickets, not resale, you know. So, because a lot of times they're going to shoot that price up. Right. But sometimes,
because they need their fees online.
Stop at the box office. You can, you know, but that's the only time I've done that. And it was just because I was like, we're not sitting up there. So.
Okay, so the lowest you've gotten that wasn't a gift.
$250 on the floor.
The breezy.
I mean, and you know, way back when the anti-tour, I got those tickets day of as well, and you know, this had to be what, 2015 or 16. When's the last time? That was Rihanna's last tour.
Yeah.
I went alone again, and I think I paid like $80.
I also know that you travel a whole lot. So I want to know, what's the most trips that you've taken in 1 year?
Oh, I don't think I can count. I don't know, because I will say
that many.
Yeah, but also, to be fair, I will go to the same place a lot of times. So like Atlanta, my best friend lived down there.
Right.
So 2019 and 2020, I was on a hell of a run.
Yeah. Even through COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's when, you know what, 2019, I was on a hell of a run, because I know I went to Atlanta a bunch of times, but I went to Honolulu, I went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and I went to Playa del Carmen, and I went to, when I was 17. So just that right there, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What else? 6?
I know I went to more than that, but I just specifically remember those because they were birthday trips.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like the most I've taken in 1 year was probably that 5. 5 for the year is the most, but it sounds like it was probably like 10 in that year.
Well, I used to go somewhere every month, and maybe twice a month. So yeah, I feel like 2019 to 2020, I definitely did.
Those deep. I love that for you. Is it easier or like less easy now that you got baby Z? She's not a baby no more. She a whole toddler.
I know. No, because she had her first plane ride to Atlanta to go see my best friend when she was 3 months old. So she got her little miles, her little wings, as they say. It's easier now that she can walk,
right?
Because I have flown with her alone too, because ain't nothing keeping me from going where I want to go.
That part.
Definitely one of those moms. Let's go.
Okay.
But I will say it might be just a little harder now because she's impatient. So people have been kind to me on a flight with a baby. I did not run into any of those like weird people on a plane that's like, why are babies here? Yeah. They were more so like, you're doing great, Mom. And I was like, thanks. Like, thank you for telling me that. I love that. Or, oh, you're okay, because she was, she's long. I'm tall, so she's long. So she would be like stretched out. And I was trying to like keep her in my little seat. And no, her little legs would be on the person next to me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, she's fine. She can stretch out. And I'm like, all right. Then she throw her arms back over here. If I got...
Kids are so funny.
So sometimes I get a cheap middle seat. It is what it is. But, or sometimes she just got her feet over here and she putting her arm behind here and who knows who's back there. But everybody was always nice.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now that we got the petty out the way, let's talk about life. Let's start here. You're originally from Flint, and now you've built your life here in Detroit. What did that transition look like for you?
I would say it was easy. It was easy because my other best friend, who Omni, when we graduated, we both were like, we're going to Wayne State. At the time, I didn't know if we would be roommates, but we had requested each other. I was on the honors floor and she wasn't. So we were like, hope we, because they had told us like you have to honors with honors, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that year they had a lot of honors kids.
Okay.
So we were on the 5th and 6th floor in the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
So once we found out we were going to live together, and then my other best friend, Livy, who lives in Georgia,
mm-hmm.
she already went there. So I wasn't like going to college alone. It was never like that. So, and a lot of people from Flint went to Wayne State that year. Not like I'm some social butterfly, but my best friend went with me to orientation,
mm-hmm.
and I had a car. So I was mobile. When I got down here, I want to say in August, I had 3 jobs. Yeah. By November.
Always.
So I was about to say, so I've always been this way.
Yeah.
3 little part-time jobs making $7.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Mm-hmm. So
yo, girl. Cause what?
I know, right? So it was easy for me because I was never alone. Like I had my 2 best friends with me.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So, what made you stay in Detroit after Wayne State?
I definitely was comfortable, and honestly, because I left Flint real bad, but it's not like I was going to go back to Flint.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I did think I was going to go to DC, but like I said, I got swept up in Quicken Loans, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Like
this is straight.
Better than comfortable,
mm-hmm.
you know, especially being so young. Like, cool. And, you know, back then, it was still affordable to split rent with somebody.
It was.
Looking at the rent now, like, you're not really saving no money. So,
buy a house. Shameless plug.
With me. But, like, I remember our first townhouse in Taylor when we all moved together.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, the rent was like $850 for a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. The rooms were huge. $850.
I miss them kind of prices.
Big ass townhouse. Yeah. So
okay. And before the life you have now, you survived domestic abuse. We're gonna kind of shift a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wrote Run Sis.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was an amazing read, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure I read that book in a couple hours.
Honestly, that's my feedback. Everybody's like, I feel like you're talking to me.
Yeah. What made you decide to tell your story publicly? Like, because I know that's not easy.
Yeah. So let's see. When did I write that? I guess I have to say how I ended up writing it because it was by mistake. Honest to God.
Okay.
So I am one of those people that like has always been riddled with nightmares my whole life since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Having goofy nightmares, you know, monsters and such. But as an adult, so that time frame was from 2009 to 2011. I think I wrote my book in 2018, I want to say. So for about a year, I was having crazy nightmares. He was haunting me in my sleep. And I would wake up, no lie, screaming. And some nights I would wake up with my hands around my neck. So I was like, what the hell? And I'd be so freaked out and I couldn't go back to sleep. So then I just started writing in my notes on my iPhone. And I would just keep adding to it and adding to it. No intentions of writing a book. But then one day, you know, I did one of these and I was like, this is a lot. And I was like, what if I put it on a Word document?
Yeah.
And when I transferred it over to a Word document, I think it was like 30, 40 pages. And I was like, the hell, this is a goddamn dissertation.
Yeah.
By accident. So from there, that's how I kind of went into that. But what made me post it?
Yeah.
I felt like it was so long ago. I think it was like 7 years prior. So I was like, I'm so far removed from this.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can talk about it now because nobody really knew in real time.
Yeah.
Except for really like my best friends. I didn't tell my family or anything until after I was done with court. because, you got some of them family members. Everybody does. Like, what the hell? Like, so I was like, and if you decide to read my book, but in my book, I kind of learned when I did involve someone else, like, oh shit, that could have went south.
Yeah.
So let me not do that again. But I posted it because I was like, I don't know. I feel like somebody might be going through this, and I've never read a book that was laid out how I wrote my book, because I am talking directly to you in the book. I am literally having a conversation with you, kind of jumping into the reader's mind, being assumptive after I say something. I'll be like, and sis, da 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 da, and I know you're thinking this is, but or even the fact that I have, like, excuse my French, but I have a fuck that bitch playlist. So yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So that is what's in my book. Like, if you go look at the beginning of every chapter, there's a song, and those are songs from my fuck that bitch playlist. And sometimes I'm one of those people, like, if I'm angry, I just want to stay angry for a little bit. I don't want to get out of the mood. I want to listen to Biggie. I want to listen to Pick the World Up, Lil Wayne. Sometimes.
Hey, that's a vibe.
It is. And I would have that jug on repeat.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. But honestly, though, if you think about it, people don't sit enough in their emotions, and that's a lot of people's problems, where they just kind of comb right over those emotions instead of sitting there. And I think that's okay to do it. You don't want to sit there forever, but I think it's good that you gave yourself space to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And looking back now, what do you think that version of yourself needed most at that time?
So I'm going to be fair, because at that time, I was 19 and 21. Some things you just really got to go through. Not saying that you've got to go through domestic violence, but some things you just never know how you can possibly come out of something unless you go through something hard. Some people haven't been through anything really, really hard or really, really traumatic, which good for them. But I think what I needed was to have listened to my goddamn mama. Not that she said something about him, but I come from a family so my mom had 9 siblings. So she's one of 7 sisters.
Okay.
And since I was a child, my mom and my aunts have told me about abusive men. And prior to him, I had never dealt with that.
You never experienced it?
No. But also, to be fair to myself, again, right before I met him, a month and a half before, even if that, I was in 19 car pileup on 75. I thought I was gonna die that day. So when I didn't, I was like mentally so. Do you really gotta believe? Because I'm a cuss.
No.
Okay. So I was fucked
Just
up.
mark it with an E. Explicit.
I was really fucked up, like, because I didn't understand, and being that young, I was so spoiled. Like, everything I ever wanted, I always had. My brand new car I had in high school. I'm thinking, to me, I felt like, how can I live without my car? Like, I had to take a medical withdrawal from school, because all of a sudden I just started, after that, passing out, which I won't say the rest, but I just started passing out.
Yeah.
And it kept getting blamed on anxiety. So then I was on anxiety prescriptions. They gave me like Xanax as needed. They gave me something for depression. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I literally couldn't get on 75 South. And everybody knew it. Anytime my friends or somebody was going somewhere and we needed to get on the highway, I would ask them, hey, I'm just not going to go because I can't get on that highway. Because if you pay attention and you drive on the highway, the barrier, there's all these marks. And it's from cars hitting it. And so my brain would just hone in on that. And I was like, that was me being a hockey puck. And I'm like, I don't want to see that because it takes me back. And I would get so anxious. So back then, what did I need? I guess I don't think I would have been so susceptible to that abuse had I not already been in a traumatic mindset anyways. So I don't know that it's something that I needed. Perhaps I should have stayed on my prescriptions because you're not supposed to stop those abruptly, and I did.
Ooh, okay. And that's a whole nother conversation.
Exactly. But I talk about it in my book. Like, he made me feel like I don't need it. And that is I'm not bipolar, but that is some bipolar shit. Like, you know, you feeling good. Like, I don't need this. And no, I probably should have.
I think that's a lot. I've heard that multiple times from people who stop taking their medication, though. Once you feel like you're feeling good, or the opposite, where
you don't
it makes them feel hazy, or they don't like the feeling of it, so they stop. But that's not abnormal. Like, I hear that often.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have did it.
Yeah, listen to the doctors.
I stopped. So,
do you think that women sometimes stay in unhealthy situations longer because they don't yet see another version of life for themselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you're in the storm, you can't see the aftermath. You can't see any clear skies. Eventually, right? When you're fed up, when you're fed up, you're fed up. And it gets to a point, of course, but me specifically, when you make an attempt to get away, it's like you start to learn, this is hard. They're not going to just let me go. They're going to cause a scene. They're going to cuss me out. They're going to do whatever. They're going to show up. They're going to, you know what I mean? Get into it with whoever I am with. You know, that's in the book. It was many times I called myself leaving. And then it got to a point where I was so beaten down about it. I was just like, I would rather piss y'all off than have to deal with him when he is upset. It's not worth it anymore for me to involve anybody else, even indirectly. Just being like, okay, I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to be here because I say, hey, where you at? What you doing? I'm saying, oh, I'm here. Now all of a sudden he's here. Now I'm gone because I got to go. Because if I don't go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's just a fair analysis of it, because how could you? You know what I mean?
How could you see the light at the end of the tunnel?
I don't even think I had the worst of people that I know. Like, I know people who had it far worse. But if that's what you've been through, that's what you've been through. You know what I mean? That was my max. And I was like, dang, this is crazy. So,
okay. First of all, Run Sis by L.M. Reid. Get the book so you can get all the deets, all the tea.
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to shift a smidget. And I want to talk about the now, the current. Because now you're married. You're raising your daughter. You're building a completely different kind of life.
For sure.
What did healing from that teach you about love and about yourself?
I will start with me.
Okay.
Because looking back, I'm not the same person at all. And I would never go back to that person. I am someone who is very unapologetic about my personality now. I know people have a hard time with people who say that's just how I am. Baby, this is how I am. And it's a reason that I am this way. My level of discernment, I would say, is damn near elite.
Yeah.
Like, I do not toil in shit that don't concern me, that's not going to benefit me. I just don't engage in nothing, like no low level mess, unless I'm just outside being ghetto with my friends. But like for real low level stuff, like I'm not doing that. I have standards for myself. So immediately when that happened, I went into isolation. I did not deal with anybody. Like, I think it took me like months before I would like go on a date. Immediately after, I would not give my number to anybody. And if it's somebody that sees this, they can vouch for it, because if a guy approached me and was like, "What's your number?" This was before you could block somebody on your phone. And I realized once they got my number, they got my number. And after that incident, I changed my number, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. Y'all just can't have access. Yeah. I started putting a price on access to me. Like, if you're not valuable to me, you don't need to reach me. If I'm just meeting you, we ain't really got nothing to talk about. I don't know you yet, so I don't know if I want you to have my number. You're going to have to hit me on Twitter. That's what I would tell people. Here's my Twitter, because I can block people on Twitter. I was like, I can't do nothing beyond that. Yeah. And most guys would be like, what? And I'm like, I'm serious. And they were like, all right, well, shit, if that's the only way, that is the only way. Okay. And a lot of times I was able to weed through people who was just on BS, because I'm like, you got the same conversation in this DM that you can have on my text messages. Yeah. And it eventually, because they would be like, well, how do I know you're going to show up? I'll be there. I am a woman of my word if I am nothing else. Yeah. So the level of discernment, I became very disciplined. I will say that is when I got into the gym. Like, I was in the gym 7 days a week because it was therapeutic for me. And I'm also pretty vain. I ain't got no eyebrows on right now.
Girl, please.
But ain't nobody ever going to be like, oh, Lunden, you see Lunden? Like, she felt like, no, never happened, babes. It never happened. I'm like, I will be better than when you left me. And I am. And that's just my personality now. Perhaps I'm obnoxious or arrogant. I don't know. But I walk in that and own it 100% because I just value me. Yeah. I value my opinion of myself anyways. As far as...
You never got them vibes from me, by the way. Arrogant or obnoxious.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good for you talking about me, girl.
Okay, so before you even get on the full love part of that, let's talk about... Maybe you'll get into it with the love part, actually, because I want to know, how did you then open yourself up to even accepting another person after something so traumatic?
So this is when I realized that I'm a vault. I am a vault. I'm a vault with people. I'm a vault with conversations. I can bury some things and it's not getting out. So until I want it to. And I literally had no interest, for real, in taking somebody seriously. So like the couple of people I did talk to, like I was like, yeah, no. If I saw I wasn't going nowhere, I just cut it off. So I'm like, I have no desire, and I'm not somebody. I don't think I have a type, right? So I learned that about myself actually a couple of years ago, and I was just looking back, like, you know, sometimes you see people and they're like, everybody they date is the same version in a different font. That's not the case with me. I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay,
all over the place.
Yeah, literally. But I realized that is because I have to really like you. Like, I haven't really truly loved no bunch of people or even liked a bunch of people. So I have to like you 100%. So that's the first thing. I wasn't taking nobody seriously. I was worried about my own self, as they say. And when I did start talking to my husband, and I've told him this, like, he wasn't the only one I was talking to, because I was literally only talking to people. Right. Because I didn't feel like anybody was worth my time, let alone my body. So I was talking to, I would say, 3 people at the time. And I was like, he the only one, though, that made me flip my phone over.
Oh.
So
love that.
Nobody else's name is popping up over here. Because we have, you know what I mean? We have D&D.
Yeah.
So I've been creative. Anyways. So ahead of my time, a pioneer. So I was like, okay, I like him. So when we started, like, I don't know, we just went together real bad. Like, because I had told him, like, this ain't nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. So after a while, I remember we were in the stairwell of his Wayne State apartment, and he had like reached past me, and I did like one of these, and then he was like, "Why do you always do that? Like, I'm gonna hit you." And I was like, "Remember, I said I'm a vault." I had never told him.
You didn't even realize it either, huh?
No, I didn't. I developed reflexes that stayed with me, and to this day, which I don't know if we're gonna get into it, but I feel like I'm fearless now. But and I was like, oh, I had like sent my ex to jail, and that's all I told him.
Like, oh yeah.
So that was in 2012, and you gotta to put you where I was physically and mentally. He had taunted me at Wayne State's campus during our court proceedings. He lived on Wayne State's campus. So I was always kind of like looking around.
Hyper aware.
Yes. Because that's part of my book too, those incidents.
Yeah. So
I couldn't ever really relax there, but I didn't realize it.
I feel like I need to read it again. I need a refresher.
So then, that's 2012. I did not tell my now husband about the whole story until 7 years later.
Wow. Because 7 years into your relationship, or 7 years later after the incident?
After the incident. So
okay.
It was about 6. So yeah.
6 years into the relationship? Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So we, I just sat him down one day like, so I wrote a book. And he was like,
so it was after the book?
It was right before I released it. It was the night before I released it.
You spilled the tea before you told the world. Okay, I see.
Because he didn't know. He did not know all the details.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what it taught me about love, I am one of those people that's like, you can't put nothing past nobody. But I was like, dang, he just not like that. He just seems to want what's best for me. So then
the way it's supposed to be.
So then I like started to believe it, because I was waiting for the mask to fall, because it always falls. But
you're giving bars. Wow. Okay. Now I want to talk about your journey into motherhood now. Let's shift again. Because your story didn't start with, I always wanted to be a mama.
No.
I remember the days.
Not at all.
And I'm pretty sure you told me at one point that you didn't want kids, right?
I told that to a lot of people. Never, ever.
Never. And I know there were also some health challenges happening during that season too. And I'll let you share whatever you're comfortable sharing with in that part. But I do think it's important for women to hear these conversations, because so many women silently go through things with their bodies and their fertility, right? And you were told you might not be able to have children, right? Am I getting that right?
I was high risk.
Right. Okay.
But I was told I was going to have challenges.
Okay. So what was that season like for you physically and emotionally? So you can give the whole rundown of what that looks like health-wise for you. And then those, like, what did that feel like?
Okay. So how did I even get from I'm just going to be rich auntie for life to...
Yeah, exactly. For real.
So I've never had the desire as a child or a young woman to be married or to have a kid. I've always been kind of like career driven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was worried about me, you know, and I'm someone who can learn from other people's lives and challenges. And I know a great deal of single moms who obviously didn't plan to be that way. Things have happened. I see how the guys switch up, honestly, you know, and you just left there with the baby.
Yeah.
What that looks like if you have no help. If you do have help, it's still hard.
Yeah.
You know, so I was always calculating because I'm someone who thinks about worst case scenario pretty much with everything.
Yeah.
I do. And I know for some people that seems daunting, but it gives me comfort because I feel like that's my playbook. I know what to do if something goes wrong because I already thought about it. So
a risk analysis.
For sure.
In professional term.
So I'm like, if I have a baby, that's permanent. That's, you know, because, you know, you don't plan to be like a trifling mom or nothing. Right. So I'm like, I'm responsible for that person. And I have like such a mom's mom at almost 40. So I was like, I got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So like, if I can't be that type of mom, I might as well not be bothered. But also, you know how people always say like the legacy and they want to have. I've never said that. But as someone who lost a parent, I don't remember him because I was a baby. So I always thought about that too. Like, what if I die? Of course, I'm going to die one day. But I always thought, like, I'd hate to have a kid and then I'm gone, you know. So that was in the back of my mind. But like I said, I started to believe, like, okay, he seems like, you know, I can trust him. And when they say, like, you have to see people in different seasons, it's so true because, and this is in my book too, but to skip ahead so that I can reference, but when I got diagnosed with epilepsy, that was not easy. Like, my freedom was snatched from me. I was 100% dependent and I couldn't go to work. Going back to those prescriptions we were talking about, the epilepsy prescription is one of those prescriptions that, well, there's a range of them that you can take, but the certain set I was on made me feel so lethargic. I've always been active. I couldn't work out. I think I gained like almost 20 pounds. Maybe it was like 15. But I was just like, I hate this. Like, I'm not having a good time.
This was from the epilepsy medicine.
It was. So, and this goes kind of hand in hand with pregnancy too, because if you are on a certain epilepsy prescription, I was going to say it's Lamictal, and you get pregnant, it can cause the baby to have like their spine not to develop fully, I want to say, something like that. And you have to take twice the amount of folic acid that a normal pregnant woman will have to take. So there's all these precautions. And they're like, don't get pregnant on this, you know, or maybe it was Keppra, one of those. So I have this in the back of my mind.
Right.
But also, not like I'm just some overly traditional lady, but I am someone that's kind of black and white. And if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, yes, I'm not somebody who's just going to have a baby. Like, you're going to marry me.
Yeah. No, that part.
I'm going to need some security.
Because I'm risking a lot and I need some help. Exactly. Yes.
So I never like dreamed about like, oh, I'm going to have a big wedding and I can't wait to walk the night. Never. For me, it was like, okay, this makes sense now. We'll do this. And then I can do that. And I'm just very straightforward, just like that. So once we got there, and I did get pregnant, I went to the doctor because I also know my body like really well. And I was like, something ain't seeming right. But I think I found out I was pregnant because almost every time I've been pregnant, I found out super early, between 4 and 6 weeks. And I took the test and I was like, oh, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what we got to do here. And I knew because, you know, my epilepsy, my history of epilepsy, that I would need to, look into it, whatever. Like, what does this mean? So, found out I was pregnant with mono twins. So,
I remember that.
Yep, it's the highest risk twin pregnancy that exists because they share everything. They don't have a separate anything. And so that's what causes it to be super complicated. Never had heard of that before in my life.
Yeah.
So I went and got an ultrasound, but they didn't tell me that I was pregnant with twins. She was like, "Oh, I see one, da da da," and I told her, I was like, "I think it's twins." And
you told her?
Yeah. And she was like, "No, it's just one." And I was like, "Oh no, I think it's twins." And so when I came back, that's when she was like, "Oh, there's another one in there."
Twins.
And I was like, so they must have been like hiding right behind each other in that one sack. And she was like, "Oh, so they told me like, okay, so this is mono twins." And then they let me know, the heartbeat was really, really low. And I was like, cause I'm like, okay, I don't really know. I'm like, does it get stronger? I don't know. So they told me that. And then I remember I had my husband meet me, and then I felt so bad. Cause when I had him come to the ultrasound, that's when they were like, there's no heartbeat.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cause you invite him in and you're thinking.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I carried that guilt for sure, because I felt like it was something like I did, even though I didn't do it. I was...
Girl, not you about to make me cry. Stop it.
Oh, sorry. I was looking for answers. I was Googling mono, like I was learning like, what does this mean? And because I was like, what if they're wrong? Because they were wrong about the twins, So I was like, well... and they were like,
still holding on to that hope.
Yeah, they were like, you can get a second opinion. So I was like, okay, I will. So I went, and when I went to Henry Ford, because at first I was at Women's Excellence. So when I went to Henry Ford, they were like, oh, well, we think your timeline is off. You wouldn't have as strong as a heartbeat as they say, because we think you're not that far along yet. So that would mean, remember, that I didn't find out at about 4 weeks. That they're saying now I found out before
1
that,
or 2 weeks
at Henry Ford. So I'm like, okay, I just got to accept what I'm hearing, because I'm trying to find a way to make this work.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I felt icky. Like, is they're deceased in there, and I'm just walking around.
Oh,
I felt like,
oh my goodness.
I felt like, get them out then. If they, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like a walking tomb. Oh, I felt bad.
Girl, that's a lot.
It is. I felt bad. So, but I still had to do what I had to do. I still got to get up and go to appointments. I still got to talk to people, even though I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like,
they're just there.
Are they? Like, is there hope? Because it's, you're up and down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to all these appointments now at Henry Ford.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, there's no heartbeat. And I'm like, because, they kind of gave me a little hope. And then they took it away.
And then they took it back.
So I was
gracious.
Like, yeah, I was on a spiral. So then I went back to Women's Excellence, and I was like, how do we do this? And they were like, you can let it pass naturally, but sometimes if you do, everything's not gone, and your body becomes toxic, and that's dangerous for you. So
I give that option again.
Some people, because technically
anti-medicine and stuff like that.
Because technically a DNC is an abortion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's technically some people, but I was of the mindset of, well, I don't want my body to be toxic.
Right.
So I guess let's do it, Yeah. So he did the procedure, and it was so crazy. I was at the hospital that is in Pontiac. I do not like going there. I forget what it's called now. They got bought out, but they did the procedure, and which is very nice of them. They bring you like stuff for the babies.
No, yeah.
And I had people send me stuff, which was very nice. One of my close guy friends, his wife is a nurse, and she sent me like some stuff from, I guess, their hospital, like little, it's like hand sewn wings and stuff put in a box. But they ask you, do you want to bury them?
Yeah.
I didn't, I don't know. So I was like, what? I'm like, wait.
I remember, yeah.
So they give you all this stuff, like, how would you like to da-da-da? Do you want to donate them? Do you want to? And I was just like, what? And it was a lot. But
overwhelming for sure.
I didn't choose to bury them. I think I did say just, I guess, donate them to science, because I still was trying to figure out, how did this even happen?
Yeah, how we get here?
Yeah. So after that, because I internalized this like it was my fault, even though nobody said it was my fault, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, they were in me, so I must have did something, is how I was feeling. So I started looking at fertility clinics. Because at this point, even when I found out I was pregnant, I was just like, oh, okay. But after losing the twins,
right,
I was like, oh no, I gotta have a baby now.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how you feel.
Figure this shit out. Like, what's happening? So
now I know my body can do it.
Yes.
But now I got to complete this task.
Yes.
That's how it feels. Like almost robotic. Like.
Yes. Yeah.
It's strange.
It is. It is. It was a hell of a ride. So then I started looking at fertility clinics. Yeah. And I didn't realize the terminology for infertile, because I thought I was infertile. Right. But when I went, she was like, you're not infertile because you can't get pregnant. So she was like, your challenge is going to be staying pregnant. And I was like, okay. So she ran, and by the way, men have it so easy. They ran so many tests on me continuously.
So many tests.
And then he had to do one thing. One blood draw. And I was like, are you serious? So we do all these things.
The sperm count. Right.
It was sperm count, and then he had to do just the genetic test.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
So I was like, are you serious? So she analyzed everything. The lady who, I can't think of her name, but bless her heart, she was like, I think she had double-digit miscarriages. And she has like 4 kids now. So this is her bag. She like, I make sure y'all can't get pregnant.
Yeah, that's why she do what she do.
Yes.
So wait, did she have all of those? I don't know if you asked too many questions after that. Did she have them all before, or like kind of in between? Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Wow.
She might have had them all first.
That's a story.
But because she ended up,
that's a testimony,
right? She ended up telling me, okay, so apparently you have hypothyroidism, so Hashimoto's, and so that makes pregnancy a little difficult. I have the history of epilepsy. I have the history of miscarrying mono twins. And then my age was becoming a factor. So,
isn't it crazy to see that list of things in your doctor's report? Like every time even now, you go back in and you see this list of things that just continue to crazy.
So she's like, okay, this is what you have. This is da-da-da-da. This is how I want you to eat. So she had me cut out sugar. She had me, apparently I have a gluten sensitivity.
Fun.
So learn that. I still deal with that to this day. So I cut gluten. I cut sugar.
What's gluten, child?
So
tell the people. I feel like me and my daddy go back and forth with this. They just figured out what gluten was. They just made this up to put it.
I don't even know, honestly, that I fully understand it. But I want to say it's like a wheat. It's in bread. Okay. And well, actually, gluten's in everything. It seems like, honest to God, it seems like gluten's in freaking everything. But everybody has different symptoms. So for me, my symptom is I have gluten. I could go from when I'm super baggy right now, but perhaps if you go to my page, you'll see. But I can eat some gluten sometimes and I'll be fine. But sometimes I will look like I'm 4.5 months pregnant in an instant. I'm very uncomfortable. So, and the gynecologist is who told me this. Because she said some people have rashes. Because a lot of times we have symptoms and you don't think gluten is the culprit.
Yeah.
But it be the culprit. It causes severe bloating. And some people's is just more manageable. But, so she had me cut that out.
Okay.
She had me cut sugar. So I was only eating sugar once a week. And I think I could only have 20 grams the day that I had it. And I actually stuck to it.
Which is like a pack of fruit snacks.
Like basically nothing.
Yeah.
So she was like, do this. We're going to rerun your labs. So I did that. My numbers were improving. So she was like, technically she doesn't take on people who are not infertile, because I wasn't. But she was just like, you have kind of a unique case. I'm interested to see, whatever. So we did that and I got pregnant with my girl.
It's funny because it's similar. When I got pregnant with Isaac, I got super healthy. And then it was like, oh, pregnant. Yeah. It's so funny.
Oh, I skipped a part. Oh, God, I skipped a part.
Okay.
And if anybody ever has to have this HSG, I'm going to butcher this.
Okay.
Because the fertility specialist was thorough. She did things that I never even heard of.
Thank God for her.
Literally. So the HSG, I want to say, I think it's a histostereogram.
Okay.
I want to say. But basically what they do is they see if your tubes are open.
No.
So.
I never heard of that before.
Oh, I think that might have been the most painful procedure I've ever had outside of labor. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was. So I went in there and they were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to insert this dye. We're going to see if it comes out, basically. And I said, what if it doesn't? And they were like, it always comes out. And I was like, okay. So they're having a hard time getting stuff situated, and I'm already uncomfortable from that. So then they call in somebody else. They get it in. And as soon as they got that dye going through my tubes, I am like bawling my eyes out. I'm so uncomfortable because you know how they do women. They'll be like, oh, just take a Tylenol. You'll be fine before you go. No, it was horrific. So sure enough, they say, because I asked them like, okay, what happened? It didn't come out. The dye didn't come out. So my tubes weren't open.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, so like I had asked before. So when I go back to my specialist, she was like, I have a hard time believing your tubes are blocked when you were just pregnant. And she said, were you in a lot of pain? And I was like, absolutely. I said,
during the pregnancy?
During the HSG.
Procedure. Okay.
I said, I was in a terrible amount of pain. She said, were you bearing down to deal with it? And I said, yeah, I was. Because I'm like, yeah, girl, it was like she was in the room, but she wasn't. And she said, I think you might have been in so much pain that you kind of like closed your tubes, because the dye should have came out at least one, because you were just pregnant. She said, you must have been in a whole lot of pain. And I was like, I was. So I don't know if it was that they didn't insert it right. And that's why it was so painful. I have to hear from somebody else who's had one. But
not you closing your tubes like a Kegel.
How? Who knew that was possible?
What?
Exactly. So she said, I would like to do it again. And I was like, I don't know, girl.
Girl, you about to get these hands.
I was like,
immediately no.
I don't know if I can have a baby then, because I can't do that again. And she was like, I can put you under anesthesia.
Okay.
That way you
calmer,
be so relaxed.
Yeah.
So when she did that, tubes were open.
Okay. Because you were calm.
That, or I hear some people say, which there's no medical proof to say this, but some people say they've had an HSG and their tubes were blocked. But then when they get another, they're open after. And they did not have a previous pregnancy like I did. So some people say like whatever they do opens it after the fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
that helps open it.
Yeah.
I see.
When I said I did all the things, because I was like, well, I'm going to exhaust all my options before I'm like, okay, I can't have a kid.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't also going to keep torturing myself, because that was torture. That was torture. For sure.
Going through the loss. You mean? Or going through the procedures?
And and just trying to remedy it. Because I was like, maybe there is no remedy. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
And I'll be okay with that, but I just wanted to make sure first.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the question now is, do you feel like the loss or going through all of that, did it make you start wanting it more, like wanting motherhood more?
I think, I don't even know if I understood the totality of it, you know, because you're not in it, you don't get it. But I thought, I want what I had.
Yeah.
And what I had was a pregnancy.
Right.
So I was at least trying to get that back.
Okay.
And even when I was pregnant with baby Z, I have an ultrasound and it says suspicious of a second sac. And I was like, again? Can I get pregnant with twins again? Again? But by the next ultrasound, I guess she absorbed it or ate it, as they say.
Jesus Christ. I've heard about that. That's so interesting.
I forget the medical term for it. Yeah. But yeah. So
she ate her twin. I think I've seen that in a
possibly.
movie before.
Possibly.
Wow.
I mean, it's on the paperwork because I looked at it like, but it wasn't going to be mano, but I don't think. But yeah.
Wow, interesting.
So
okay, so speaking of baby Z, Zahara, do you feel like that loss changed the way you experience pregnancy with Zahara? Like, were you able to enjoy it, or was there still fear attached to it?
I think there was fear because when I was going through that pregnancy, I was still high risk for all those things. But then I had another thing that made me high risk that I didn't know was an issue with my body. So I had a bunch of ultrasounds, and anytime you're high risk, and I will say this because shout out to Dr. Pitts. Love her real bad.
I love her. That's who you referred me to her, didn't you?
I think
she was amazing.
Love her.
Oh my goodness, she was amazing.
So when I tell you, I had told her my previous experience because she's a Black woman and she's a high risk OBGYN in Henry Ford. Well, I think she might not be a Henry Ford anymore, but I told her, like, this is what I'm afraid of. This is what I've been through. We did a consultation. I was here for like an hour. And she was just listening. And she's just like, and I feel like she's a straight shooter too. So I really resonate with that.
She was.
She's like telling me all the things. And, you know, she's okay, well, these are the things that make you high risk. But she was just like, I do have women that are far more high risk than you are. So you probably won't see me like that. Yeah. But I'm here. And I'm like, okay.
We had that conversation too.
Yeah. So I still had to, like, for instance, just to make it real for people. In 1 week, I would go get an ultrasound. I would go get my blood work. I would have to go see my endocrinologist because of my hypothyroidism. I had to check with neurology because even though I hadn't had seizures in years, they were like, pregnancy is weird. Could do something.
And pregnancy is weird, so I get it.
So I'm seeing OBGYN regular, high risk OBGYN, endocrinologist, neurologist, and
every week.
Not every week, but every month.
Okay.
And Dr. Pitts was kind of more like notes.
Yeah.
You know, she would get updates, I guess, from
all of them.
And then I developed, what's it called? Not pre, but what's called hypertension when you're pregnant.
I know,
right?
Jesus Christ.
I can't think of the proper
word. What is the word? I know the word.
But I've never had problems with blood pressure.
Right.
So I developed that while I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So then that made it where twice a week I had to go get the little stress test. So I'm going to the doctor.
This was before even getting pregnant.
No. This is while I'm pregnant.
While you're pregnant. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to all these tests and they have to take all these ultrasounds. I had so many ultrasounds on my girl.
Yeah.
And then when I'm getting my ultrasound, they're like, okay, we got a little issue. And I'm like, okay, what's the issue? And I'm like, I can never relax.
Hey, when they say that, goodness.
They measure, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, your cervix is really short.
Fine.
So with having a short cervix, for lack of better words, the baby can fall out. Not supposed to, obviously.
Yeah.
Too early.
Yeah. Come out too early.
So they're like, we might have to sew you up with like some mesh, or we might have to give you a pill to take to basically help her stay in there. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, we don't like to do bed rest if we don't have to. So I was like, okay. But I'm like, if you don't have to. So then I'm wondering, will I be in a hospital bed for like 4 or 5 months? I don't know. It's just like this looming,
question mark.
And then I'm like, I feel a lump on my boob. And I was like, are you serious? So I'm like, hey, I felt this. And they were like, well, let's check it out. And I was expecting them to say, oh, no, they were like, well, let's check it out. And they're like, we're going to send you over to the oncologist. And I was
Please don't stress me out.
What? So they're like, yep. And they got me right in. So I was like, is this serious? So they send me to the oncologist. Mind you, I am in the parking lot of Henry Ford Westmobile bawling my eyes out because I was like,
what is happening right now?
This is going back to my fear of I'm going to die. This is why I didn't want to have no kids. So I'm literally thinking worst case scenario. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. So they had me go for testing. Next day, I feel like they did all the things. They did an ultrasound in my boob. They did a mammogram. They inserted, I don't know the proper medical terminology, like a metal piece to mark it in the future in case I ever had, issues. And they took a sample of the tissue or whatever. Turns out it was benign. Obviously.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
For stressing me out.
So I have that going on. And they're just always kind of like, we want to try to get you full term, but da-da-da-da-da. And so I'm doing all these stress tests. And I'm like, these seem like so pointless. But I should stop saying all the bad things about my pregnancy and say some of the good things, which is that I never felt a contraction.
During labor?
No, during my pregnancy, like, what's it called? Braxton Hicks.
Oh, Braxton Hicks. Okay, yeah.
I never felt anything.
Me neither.
And because, listen.
I had all the other pains, though, so.
Because I had an anterior placenta, I never really felt her kicking either. I wasn't really mad at that.
That's new.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
And, anterior placenta, it makes it hard to feel anything because it's right here.
Wow.
I guess that's where they would be kicking at. And people say, oh, I feel them in my ribs. Like,
definitely
she sat right here the whole time. So I felt physically fine.
Yeah.
I was working out until they banned me. I got banned from working out once they told me my cervix was short.
How far along were you then?
I think around 3 months.
Okay.
And you know how I work. I'd be like 4 or 5 days a week. Yeah. So I was like, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pitts was like, don't listen to people saying you eating for 2. You are not eating for 2 grown people. And she was like, this is a healthy amount of weight to gain. And I'm like, cool, we're on the same page, my girl. So
because she knew that you was a gym head.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did struggle with that because I'm like, that's my outlet. And it's kind of always been.
Yeah.
But I asked them, like, why do I have to keep coming for these stress tests? They are all the same. Until they weren't. And they were like, oh, we're actually going to induce you tonight. And I was like,
tonight? What? Wait, when? How do we get here? How far along?
That was 37 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Because, when they put the thing on. Because I was just like, nothing's happening. It's the same thing every week. But I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Because she said, oh, if something happens, we're going to send you to the hospital. And they did. They were like, you can go home and pack your bag, but you got to come back tonight. And I'm like, what? They said my gestational hypertension.
Jesus,
that's what it's called.
Christ. Why couldn't we think of it?
They said my gestational hypertension was heading towards preeclampsia.
Preeclampsia is the word I was thinking.
Yeah. And I did not have that, but that's like the next level. Yeah. And they were like, the only way to heal this is to have the baby. So you got to have the baby or else your blood pressure is too high. And I was like, okay. So, yeah.
Wow. That was a journey.
It was. I went to the doctor so much. I feel like I lived at Henry Ford.
Did. I remember.
Yeah.
And I was still in, I had 2 under 2, so I was stressed out. I'm sorry I couldn't be there more.
No, you're fine.
Stressed with my 2 under 2, but Jesus, that was a lot. Okay. Well, okay, so now Zahara's here. Okay, so Zahara gets here healthy.
Yep.
Yours, right? What did that moment feel like for you? Like after everything your body had already been through to get there?
I feel like I was in a daze still. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if this is overshare or not. But my whole pregnancy, they would tell me I was God's favorite because they would explain how I would know what a contraction was when I was having cramps. And I was like, I don't have cramps. And they were like, you don't have period cramps?
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
And I said, no. And they were like, oh, you're God's favorite. So that's what the nurses used to call me. And so basically, I feel like going from normal pain that most women feel every month to extreme pain. After I had her, I remember reading, you have to birth the placenta too.
Girl, traumatic.
My mind, even though I had just had the baby, I asked the midwife, and I still got to birth the placenta.
Okay.
That was the first thing I said.
Take it out.
I didn't say, where's the baby? Nothing. I was just like, I'm tired. I can't do this no more. Like, she said, don't worry about it. I pulled it out. And I was like,
thank you.
I honestly just sunk into the bed because I was like,
sleep now.
This was a lot.
It's exhausting.
And they kept telling me, she's got so much hair, Mom. She's got so much hair. And
I can't see it. Give me a second.
I was like, I don't care if she got hair or not. No shade, but most black babies do have hair.
That's facts.
So I'm like,
maybe that's why that was a big thing for them too. Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But once it was done, I honestly was like, this is it. I did it.
That's all.
I did. We did it. Fulfilled what I set out to do.
I did it. So you want no more? People ask you that all the time, I know.
All the time. No, I do not.
Okay.
And also, I'm almost 40. Like, that I know people.
Tell the people, this is when people ask you, just send them this link.
Listen, and will. Because, I know some people, because technically I had her later. I'm 34, but my body, as much as active as I am, the back problems I have after labor, I'm not interested in
unmatched. Did you have epidural?
I did.
Okay.
And he struggled getting it in. And so I wonder if that's a part of it. But a lot of people tell me after they have an epidural that it takes 5 years for your back to feel normal again. So I'm like, okay, I'm approaching year 3.
I wonder, because I had my kids back to back. So all 3 of them had back to back, right? And I had an epidural the last 2, obviously. So I wonder, do that double the time for me? Because I had a back to back.
The back pain is so severe.
The back pain is insanity. I literally still have where I had my contractions didn't happen in my abdominal area. My contractions happened in my lower back, my lower hip area. And so every blue moon, it takes me to my knees. It's so bad. It's so bad. And I had take you to your knees cramps too. So those mixtures is insanity.
That's unfair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that, because I think it's important for women to hear that journeys don't happen clean. They don't always happen clean.
No.
Or in order either, right? Okay. I think that connects to something really important. Trusting timing. How did that whole journey change your relationship with timing? Like trusting that things will happen when they're supposed to, even when it doesn't really feel like it.
So for me, because I look at things like not only if I'm supposed to have it, I'll have it, but you can only do so much. And so I always try to exhaust all my options.
Yeah.
Because that way I'm okay with the outcome. Because I'm not someone that, like we said, that was like, oh, I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby.
Right.
My motivation definitely intensified after the miscarriage. But even then, I was like, okay, I'm going to do all these things. And if at the end of that, nothing happens, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But everybody has to do, you know, whatever their process is.
Right.
You know, some people are like, that's not an option for me. Like, I absolutely have to have this thing.
Yeah.
I don't resonate with that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it an honest try. I always want to make sure. I can't say, oh, but did you do this? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And we're not going to beat a dead horse. So just having that personality, I feel like being okay with either outcome is where I like, you know, resonate with that. Like,
yeah, that's good.
This is good enough. You know what I mean? Like, because I've never been a woman, even though I'm married with a kid, I've never felt like my value was only in if I have a relationship or if I have a family. I've always felt like I'm enough for me, and that's all that it ever has to be. Yeah. If I don't expand beyond just me, myself, a single person, then that's okay. Yeah. So, you know, some people will hear that and be like, nope. Yeah. I want this. Yeah. Which is fair, but I never wanted to rest my value on if I could get someone or not, or if I could reproduce or not, because sometimes you can't. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And something I really, really admire about you is that you didn't really stop building your life while you were waiting. You were still investing, still buying properties, still creating stability. So let's shift. You own multiple properties in Flint and Detroit. What made you start moving like that?
Quick lumps.
Yeah, that part.
So I remember I was on the Charles Schwab team, and Charles Schwab. So if you don't know, those are usually like high net worth clients. Yeah. And although you can open a Charles Schwab account and not be a multimillionaire, yeah, that's kind of what they're associating.
Yeah, that's the clients. Yeah,
high value clientele. Yeah. So I was on that team, and I remember, because you know sometimes they'll talk to you and they give you the game. Yeah. So one of the clients one day was like, "Oh yeah, why don't you open up the appraisal?" He was like, "I want to show you my house," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I opened up. He's like, "I want you to look at the east wing, the west wing, da da da." And I was like, "Okay." But I was just kind of like, "And for what though?" Yeah. Like, all right. You know, looking at appraisals, right? Looking at appraisals is normal. Like, yeah, that's what we have to sometimes. Yeah. So I looked at the appraisal, and he said, "So you see, I don't work," and I was like, "Yep." And he was a client that, if you've never heard of this term, qualified off of asset depletion. So asset depletion, basically, the money's so long, we can use that as break it up as income because you got so much of it. So we can say, okay, you got so much money. This is how much money he would make this year from his income or whatever. Assets that he already had. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I see you don't work. And he said, so what I started doing was I bought my property and then I took the equity out and then I bought another house with it. And I just kept doing that. And I think there's a guy on like Instagram or something does the Burr method or whatever, but this is how he told me. And he said, or you can take a HELOC out, but you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this is how I amassed my wealth.
Period.
And we were just talking.
Was he black or white?
I think he was white. Because, you can kind of tell over the phone.
Yeah.
And I don't know what made him just want to be chatting it up with me that day. That. But I was like, okay.
I like people like that.
Yeah. So, I don't typically. I be real short. I was like, this is what I got to ask you. We getting off the phone.
No, I used to work on ORM, reverse mortgage. Yeah. So I used to be on the phone all day.
Those calls were long.
Long. Okay, go ahead.
So he's like, a different time we were talking. And he was like, oh, what you got going on? And I said, oh, me and my boyfriend are trying to find somewhere to vacation. And he said, oh, why don't you come to Boca Raton? And I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. He said, yeah, come see how the 1%ers live. Literally, I'll never forget he said that.
Okay, period.
And I said, oh, so what I do? I pulled it up. I said, oh, Boca Raton. So I'm like, all right, I like this. And I saw a special on Delta Vacations, because I swear by Delta Vacations. And they had a deal at the Ritz-Carlton in Boca Raton.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. Like, I like what he's talking about. I'm like, how can I get a piece of this?
Yeah.
So we actually ended up going to Boca Raton. We stayed there. And I was just like, he ain't lying about how the 1%ers live.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm just dipping my toe in this pond. I don't know.
Right.
We're not the same.
Right.
But I remember the resort, and that was the first time I saw a champagne vending machine. And I was like, I've never seen this before.
That's sweet.
There was so much that I was just like, oh this is the thing? Okay. Because it was like on a golf resort or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2020, which I feel like everybody was losing their mind in 2020, I was having such a hard time because once I transitioned out of the Charles Schwab team, because I kept having so many seizures and medical incidents,
mm-hmm.
at that time, they wanted to have, they want to talk to their person. They don't want to be like, where's Lunden? Oh, she's not in today because I'm using my FMLA because I'm not passed out again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they transitioned me to like the regular clients, the FHA, the conventional. And I wasn't really used to that. And
different kind of client.
Yeah.
Yes.
The bulk of clients though.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, it's something about people not being face to face with you that makes them brave.
Mm-hmm. That part.
And I remember, again, verbatim, being on the phone with somebody and they didn't like what I was saying, but I was saying facts. Sometimes people just want to keep the conversation going because they want to change your mind.
Yeah.
And I just kept repeating, like, this isn't, you know what I mean? This is not.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he said, are you just inept? And I was like, in that comment, I was like, what am I doing here? This is, I'm not feeling this. I don't like being disrespected like this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just went downhill. And I remember I took a medical leave because I was like, I'm going to lose my mind with everybody talking to me crazy like this. I was not used to that on the Charles Schwab team. They were so polite. Yeah. Or you talking to an assistant and they're like, yeah, what you need? Let me know. Sent it, So I definitely learned a lot in that transition, but he is who got the ball rolling for me.
Good.
He is who made me say, you know what? Let me see if I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I quit my job.
Period.
I quit my job because I think I had like 50, 60K, something like that. And I was like,
saved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had told, my husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time, which, because you got to trust somebody. I was like, I cannot do this no more. He was like, why don't you just quit? And I was like, because I'm like, you don't need no help. I mean, I knew he didn't need my help, but he was like, if it's going to drive you crazy, like, just quit if you're not happy. And I did.
This was when y'all were living out in Army Hills.
Rochester. So I did, and I said, okay, and I told him, like, I think I'm going to buy a property. I think I'm getting real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew, I don't know if you know Armand, but I went to Wayne State with Armand. You know Jab Jim?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like my boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was training with him at the time, and I remember telling him, like, I'm about to quit my job. He was like, you're not about to quit your job. I was like, I think I am. And so when I came back, I was like, I quit my job. And he said, you for real? And
You
I said, yes. And he was like, well, what you about to do? And I said, I think I want to get in, like, in real estate. I think I want to buy a house. And he was like, oh, perfect. I'm about to plug you with somebody. And that was literally that. Introduced me to somebody I consider like a mentor. And
that was in the real estate game too.
Also from Flint. Also went to Wayne State. But I didn't know him from there. So he started showing me houses that I could buy cash. And I remember telling my friends, like, hey, I'm about to go buy a house. Obviously never done this, but if you want in, let me know. And you know, my friend Carmen, she was like, yep, sent me $5,000.
Period.
The trust, the level of trust, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, okay. And she was like, I'll send you some more, but here's $5,000.
That's
and
what
I was like,
right now.
okay. So we bought a house in Flint for $11,000. We had to pay back taxes and water for $2,000, so $13,000. And house was a mess, but I'm learning everything now. It's so important to, like, I feel like really be hands-on, because I learned so much from that first project. I learned time management, like my level of discipline. I was driving from Rochester to Flint like 6 days a week, and I would be there,
which is crazy,
before the sun came up, and I would leave when it was dark. So I was putting in like 15-hour shifts at that rental house. Didn't know what I was doing. Having contractors come in, people bail on me, people lie, people do
all that
terrible work, like all kinds of things. And I will say, the fact that I just went out and did it, because I'm like, when people say do it scared, like, I'm the queen of that.
You got to.
I was like, what can I lose though? I'm like, no matter what, it'll be an asset. So with that, I learned a lot. I learned how to structure a business. I learned, like, why do I want a business account? Why do I want to put everything in a business name versus my personal name? I learned how to vet tenants. I learned, like, what are the laws for landlord? You know, what, all the things I learned from that property. And that was a cash deal. And then I remember when we were living in Rochester, I kept telling my husband, like, when are we gonna move out this apartment? This is crazy. Like, we're spending a lot of money.
Wasting money on rent.
And at first, this did not age well. This is gonna sound like a joke now.
Okay.
This is gonna sound like a joke. But in 2020, when we were looking for houses before I quit, I was like, because we bought the house in October 2020. I quit October 12th, 2020. And by the end of the month, we had that first house. Hit a lick on it. But before I quit,
the Flint house or the Detroit house?
Flint house.
Okay.
So I want to say spring 2020, we were looking for houses, and we were like, our budget is $200,000. Not going past that. They were like, y'all can get a house for $450,000. We were like, nope, that's too much money. Interest rates, you know, were like 2 point something.
So low.
And I was like, we were looking at houses. We were looking at like 4 or 5 bedroom houses. I remember we saw one house on an acre, and they wanted $250,000, and we were like, ooh, that's just too much money.
It's above our budget.
But hindsight is 2020, they say.
Literally.
Some of those same houses I look at now are, you know, about $500,000 now.
Crazy, right?
So
do you regret it?
I don't, because I still got a deal on the house we're in now, which has everything I want. But just to think that could have been, you know what I mean? I could have had that too. But we got tired of that, and I was like, maybe we just buy another house cash and fix it up. And then it just was rolling from there. It was just rolling from there. But you also, I don't know if anybody ever wants to do this, which I'm an open book, so if you slide in my DMs, I'm happy to talk to you about it. But a fixer-upper, you know. I had learned so much from the Flint house, but the Detroit house had its own different
set of problems.
And no house is the same. So I came,
especially when you start busting walls and floors.
Yeah. Exactly. Because in that house, we got rid of a wall, but we had to insert a support beam and all this other stuff that we didn't have to do with the house in Flint. House in Flint didn't have a basement. We had pipe issues. We had to get the basement dug up. Like, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Because I have a crawl space in Flint. But yeah, I love it though. I love it. Like, right now, I'm always looking for houses though. And I feel like...
How many houses you got right now?
5 and a lot. But the next one, I want like a vacation home. Yeah. I'm itching to do like Airbnb. So I'm actually going to go to Florida this fall on a business trip. And I'm going to start looking at properties out there because I just feel like my girl needs a house with a pool and all that. Yeah. She needs to be like, that's my Florida house.
Period. Okay, now I want to know, what does ownership look like? Like, what does it mean to you, especially as a Black woman building across cities?
So to me, it means leverage. It means freedom and that I have options.
Yeah, that part.
Because I always say, like, on my very worst day when I feel my absolute brokest, if I had to sell a property, that goes away. Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah. Instantly. Yeah. Not like I can sell a house and I got the money tomorrow, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. And when I say options, like the Charles Schwab client told me, like, okay, take that equity, you could buy something else. Yeah. Getting rental income is something about it. But it's something about getting rental income. Yeah. And right now we only have one Section 8 property, but that guaranteed money, love it. Love it. Yeah. It's just like the flexibility. Like, you have so much control over your day. Yeah. When you don't have to trade your time for your money. Yeah. And that's kind of like the biggest thing. Not to say I don't trade my time for money still. I go in and out. You know what I mean? Like, I have my moments where I'm like, I don't want to do anything right now. Yeah.
I need a nap instead. Okay, so let's talk about your house now. Beautiful home, but it's a lot of house that has a lot of stuff that you want to update still, right? Yeah. What has the fixer-upper process taught you?
I feel like it's taught me it always costs more. We need more money. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
That part.
That's what I know. Yeah. That's what I know. And on, I guess, a petty level, like, you want a big house till you got a big house. Because when I tell you, sweeping and mopping them floors, it takes forever.
No, for real.
So I had a little shark vacuum, but it broke. But I'm like, oh, I need that again. I need the little mop one. No,
and it's like it's a never-ending sweeping and cleaning.
It is. Like, I always got something to clean, something to do. Yeah. But my ultimate goal, you know, is to, because we bought, people say this, buy the cheapest house in the nicest neighborhood. That's exactly what we did. Yeah. So my goal is to essentially double that equity, because we got it real cheap for that neighborhood. Yeah. So, you know, I want the option to pull the equity out and do something bigger, you know, because so far that's our biggest project, our house that we live in. Everything else is just around 1,000 square feet, and this is 35. So a big jump. That's also what I learned. Like, you do not have enough furniture for this. You have more bedrooms now,
more space to fill.
Yeah.
Do you feel like building houses kind of mirrors life a little bit? Like, some things take longer than expected, but still end up beautiful.
I love that. I do.
Yeah,
I do. But also, you learn to appreciate the process. Yeah. When you are starting from ground zero. Like,
that's facts.
If it turns into something, it's because you did the work.
You did the work. Yeah, that's facts. And you also picked up a small seasonal part job. We kind of glazed over that in the beginning. Not because you had to, but to fund these passion projects, right?
He wasn't even doing that. It was literally because my business partner, my best friend, she was like, let's all get, what are they called? Holiday jobs at the mall. And I was like, okay. And we all did, but I stayed at mine because I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But I only work 1 day a week now.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to do nothing. But it definitely helped pay for something.
Yeah.
Because I'm always buying towel and grout. So, yeah.
Towel and grout. That's funny.
Yeah. you know, like, I need it.
People out there buying clothes and you're like, I gotta buy some towel and grout.
Yes, I need a transition piece. Like,
I love that.
Yes.
So what mindset does that small, I know it's only 1 day a week, but it's still another thing on your to-do list.
I left there and came here.
What mindset does that require?
You can't be somebody that finds a reason to make excuses.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be time efficient. Because I went there from 6 to 10 a.m. So I had to get up at 5. And honestly, the most productive people I feel like they're waking up early. They're maximizing their time. And me being a morning person naturally, that's fairly easy for me to do. But I feel like you have to be someone who does not make excuses.
Yeah.
And you have to have some goals for yourself. Not saying that the part-time job is like a goal of mine, but it's a commitment I have, and I honor my commitments, big or small.
That part. Okay. So I want to know, lastly, because we're about to wrap it up soon, how has becoming a mom changed you? Not just emotionally, but in how you move, think, and make decisions, big or small.
I feel like I'm curating the life I want her to have access to. That's always in the forefront of my mind. Yeah. I know some people are going to hear this and be like, well, that's not good. But if she does not want to pursue higher education because she wants to be an entrepreneur, I support that.
Oh, me and Rob talk about that all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. And we both have masters.
Yeah. And I feel like having the option, like, I want her to be, like, prepared to do either one. Because I didn't know how to do it. I did not know how to do what I was doing. But now, you know, I can actually help people do what I'm doing. Because I have so much information. I have so much experience now. And I'm just constantly planning her future. Like, I think I bought her life insurance policy when she was like 6 months, if that. You know, so I'm just always thinking of her. Yeah. And what will happen to her in my absence? What will she have in my absence? Don't want her to struggle in any capacity. Love that. Don't want her to have to ask anybody for anything if she does not want to. I don't want anybody to be able to hold anything over her head. Like, she ain't never been nowhere and she ain't never had nothing. That will not be the case. That part. So I feel like that's my main priority. Obviously, I want to raise a good person. But I want her to be able to move through the world with ease and absent of struggle. Love that. I mean, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to have a struggle. So why not eliminate as many struggles for her as you can? For sure. Yeah. Right? Okay. Let's end it all. Before we close, I ask everybody who sit on the couch the same question. Because again, this podcast is really about legacy at the end of the day. It's about the quiet work we doing every day that matters. So here it is. What legacy are you building right now, even if nobody else sees it? I feel like that's a little different because people have kind of seen it already. Yeah. But, and then also, I don't think I care what people see anyway. I don't think I care. Yeah. I think I'm not someone who's ever had some romantic idea of a legacy. Not because I think I'm unimportant, but because I think sometimes we think we're more important than we actually are.
Ooh.
In the grand scheme of things.
We just a little seed in the middle.
Dust I will return.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
You spitting, girl.
I don't know that I'm leaving anything for anyone besides my daughter, and that is access. She will have more access because I don't really care who thinks of me once I'm gone. I don't have an opinion on that.
Yeah,
I won't have an opinion on that. And while I'm living and breathing here today, I don't care what people have to say about me. So I don't know that I have a legacy because I also feel like that term is watered down now, like the phrase GOAT. I don't think anybody truly has a legacy that's not, I'm talking about, if we're talking about Black figures, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, like what you got here, you know what I mean? That's a true legacy. Yeah. People don't know me anywhere I go. You know what I mean? Beyonce, that's a legacy.
I mean,
I don't know. I haven't romanticized the term, so I can't say that I'm leaving one. Inherently, my legacy is my daughter.
Yeah.
But no matter what somebody thinks, I just want her to have the tools.
Yeah, that part.
That's it.
Love that.
Have the tools and know how to work them.
Yeah. And that right there, it really is legacy work. It really is. Everybody don't have that to give
That's true. That's true.
To their kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So Lunden, thank you.
You're welcome.
Again,
Thanks
for squeezing in time to sit on the couch with me today. Because your story is really proof that healing is possible.
Yes.
In so many different ways.
For sure.
That life can look completely different than what you once survived. And I'm really proud of the way you continue to build your life.
Thank you.
Even though uncertainty, loss, and waiting, even through all of that. So thank you. Now, and before we officially close, I want you to tell the people how they can support you, your book, your broker information, your projects, anything you want the people to tap into.
Okay. So I'm a licensed loan officer. So if you want to get qualified for a mortgage, I'm your girl. You can go to my Instagram at LUN the broker. My book is on Amazon. I think you can still get it on Apple, but I'm not a fan of the Apple format. I will get it on Amazon. It is now. There's another Run Sis, and it popped up after mine, but mine is Run Sis: Memoirs of a Broken Woman. I'm on the cover, getting choked.
Oh Jesus! I mean, we talked about that. That was your dream, right?
Yeah. So it's a black and white cover, and it's by Reid. So that is how you can get in contact with me. If you have landlord questions, property management questions, getting qualified for a home loan questions, credit questions, I'm an open book, and I love talking about real estate.
That part. And if you're listening today and you're in a season where things aren't happening as fast as you thought they would, just know you are very much still allowed to build. You're still allowed to move. You're still allowed to create a life that you're proud of while you wait. And next Tuesday, we're continuing the conversation because I want to talk about building legacy slowly and how some of the best things in our lives take time. From my living room couch in Detroit, until next Tuesday, go build something that outlives you.